Hey, welcome back to Learn About Music, and we're continuing to pay tribute to Neil Peart this week, and so we're going to talk about the top 5 drum feels or patterns that we thought were exceptional about him coming up. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, glad that you're here. We talk about music. Sometimes I make comment about on this channel that this channel is about helping people who are just mere mortals in the approach to music. And what I mean by that is that most of us are not what we would call virtuosos or anything like that. Many would call Neil Peart a god among men because the way he played. But we got to remember that he was a student of music, and he chased trying to be the best Neil Peart that he could be. And so I thought it'd be great to look back and get your feedback too in the comments below about your favorite ones. Some of these are a little bit offbeat. Some of them are not in the order you would think, but I think they're worth looking at. And if you haven't heard a couple of these, well, you should definitely observe them as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to look at number 5 on the top 5 fills of Neil Peart. This is from the Motion Pictures album. Actually, I found 3 of those, and I could be way off on this, but they were the ones that jumped out at me right off the bat. Number 5 from the Camera Eye. This is a very simple fill, but where it was placed after this keyboard intro, this is the going into the second verse, it just had so much power, and it was clear, and it just made me feel glorious every time I heard it. So here it is. I love that fill. It's just really cool, crisp, and just powerful. Really, really, really cool. Number 4. This is off of Permanent Waves, and I just love the interplay between Geddy and Neil on this, and I thought it was worth noting here. This is the drum part during Free Will off of Permanent Waves. Here we go. Starts with the bass solo, which is really cool. And this verse is where he gets busy. Oh, we love that. I think that's enough. You get the idea. I mean, is it the most technical? No, but it fits, and the interplay, I talked about that in the last video, that interplay between Geddy and Neil is just so wicked, and it complements what Alex is doing so well. Moving on to number 3 of the top fills. Alright, this is from the album Signals, and this song gets talked about because of the lyrical content and how it's impacted a lot of people, the outcasts. But this whole end section, right at the end of the song, where he is going back and forth between the hi-hat and the ride cymbal, it's so busy, but it's just so flippin' cool. So here's number 3 with Subdivisions. Just keeps the time rolling too. Adds the snare on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Listen to this fill now. Yeah. You know, you'd hear this And for me, I get choked up on it because it was so crisp and intricate, but the power of it, and it married the song so well. Dang, it's just great. All right, let's get to number 2. These last couple, you could put them either 1 or 2. I think the number 2 fill from Neil Peart is Tom Sawyer. This is very familiar, so here it is. Isn't that awesome? Who doesn't want to air drum to that? I do. Every single time. Oh, it's awesome. And finally, let's talk about the number 1 drum fill from Neil Peart. And I put this off of, again, off of Moving Pictures. And this is the solo breaks between Geddy and Neil at the end of YYZ. All right, here we are. Going to start right before it. Geddy takes the first solo. Neil takes the second. These guys were the most unselfish trio in history, where they gave each member in the band the opportunity to shine hugely, and never to be felt like they were being underappreciated for what they had to offer. Listen to this. Last one. Here it comes. Oh man, that's awesome. That is just awesome. This solo, that little break right there, he would often use as the entry into his drum solo. And over the years, he would come out, da 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 da, and then he would go into his solo, and that solo morphed over the years drastically. So back on, I believe it was Exit Stage Left, he began to use it, or might have been the concert after that, A Show of Hands, I think it was, and then from there, I think he moved it. Some of the other live albums, I think they had 5 live albums. I might be wrong on that. I haven't looked it up. Either way. Again, you'd go to a Rush show and you'd get 100 of the greatest fills that you could ever hear, and they would just make your heart pound. So those are my top 5. If you like this, please hit the like button, and I'd like to know what you thought. List the song and the time count on it, where the fill is at, and let's dig into it and find out what you think the top fills from Neil Peart were. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.